Karl Marx, a name synonymous with profound social and economic theories. Just hearing his name probably brings up thoughts of revolutions, of societal upheaval and dramatic change. Protests, expressions of discontent and demands for a better world, and maybe even controversy, sparking heated debates and passionate disagreements. But who was he, really, beyond the headlines and the historical narratives? And why do his ideas still echo across the world nearly 2 centuries later, continuing to influence political and social discourse? Let's rewind to 19th century Europe, a time of immense change and stark contrasts. Imagine endless rows of factories, symbols of progress, but also of exploitation, smoke filling the air, a constant reminder of the environmental cost of industrial growth, and workers toiling for hours just to scrape by, their lives dictated by the relentless pace of the machines. This was the Industrial Revolution, a period of unprecedented technological advancement. While a handful of people, the factory owners, grew incredibly rich, amassing fortunes beyond imagination, countless workers lived in crowded, unhealthy neighborhoods, their existence a stark contrast to the opulence of the wealthy, barely making ends meet, struggling to provide for their families in the face of immense hardship. Karl Marx looked at this world with its glaring inequalities and inherent contradictions and saw a system that was deeply unfair, fundamentally flawed in its structure and operation. He called it capitalism, a system driven by profit and competition, and he believed it created 2 main classes. Distinct and often antagonistic, the bourgeoisie, or the owners, those who controlled the means of production, and the proletariat, or workers, those who sold their labor to survive. In simple terms, the rich got richer, accumulating more wealth and power, and the poor stayed poor, trapped in a cycle of poverty and exploitation. In 1848, Marx, along with Friedrich Engels, his intellectual partner and lifelong friend, wrote the Communist Manifesto, a seminal work that would change the course of history. It was part history lesson, analyzing the past to understand the present, part rallying cry, urging action to create a better future. In it, Marx argued that history is really the story of class struggles, a constant battle, conflicts between those who have and those who have not, the haves and the have-nots. His most famous line, a call to action that resonated across the globe: "Workers of the world, unite," a powerful message of solidarity and collective power. He believed that if workers banded together, organized and fought for their rights, they could overthrow the system, dismantle the structures of oppression, and build a fairer society based on equality and justice for all. Now, Marx didn't just want everyone to have the same amount of stuff, a simplistic interpretation of his complex ideas. He wanted a world where everyone had equal access, regardless of their background or social status, to the things they needed to live with dignity, the fundamental requirements for a fulfilling life. Education, the key to unlocking potential and empowering individuals. Healthcare, ensuring well-being and access to medical treatment. Decent housing, providing a safe and comfortable place to live. And while his ideas were revolutionary, challenging the established order, they weren't just theories confined to academic circles and philosophical debates. They inspired real change, sometimes peaceful through social movements and political reforms, sometimes not, through revolutions and uprisings across the globe, leaving an indelible mark on the course of history. For better or worse, Marx's ideas shaped the 20th century, influencing political ideologies and social movements. They influenced revolutions in Russia, leading to the establishment of the Soviet Union, China, transforming the country's political and economic landscape, and far beyond, inspiring socialist movements and anti-colonial struggles across the world. Even today, when people protest for workers' rights, demanding fair wages and better working conditions, or against inequality, challenging the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, you can hear echoes of Marx's message resonating in their demands for social justice and economic equality. But Marx's legacy is complicated, a subject of ongoing debate and interpretation. Some people see him as a hero fighting for justice, a champion of the working class. Others blame his ideas for creating oppressive governments, citing the failures of communist regimes. One thing's for sure, regardless of your perspective, he changed the way we think about society, power, and what's fair, prompting critical reflection on the structures that shape our world. So, next time you see news about strikes, protests, expressions of social unrest, remember. A lot of those arguments started with questions Marx asked nearly 200 years ago, questions that continue to be relevant today.